What if we're not alone? This question has haunted humanity for centuries, sparking wonder, debate, and even fear. From ancient cave paintings depicting strange beings to modern-day UFO sightings, the idea of extraterrestrial life has woven itself into the fabric of our collective imagination. Think about it, every culture, every civilization has its own stories of visitors from the stars. Whether it's the mysterious Nazca lines in Peru, the sudden rise of advanced knowledge in ancient Sumeria, or even the eerily consistent descriptions of flying chariots in religious texts, the evidence, or at least the fascination, is everywhere. And now, with governments releasing previously classified UFO footage and astronauts like Gordon Cooper going on record about their encounters, the line between science fiction and reality feels thinner than ever. But here's what's truly mind-bending. Even with all our technology, all our telescopes scanning the cosmos, we still haven't found definitive proof. Yet, statistically speaking, the universe is simply too vast, too ancient, for Earth to be the only planet teeming with life. Scientists estimate there are billions of potentially habitable worlds in our galaxy alone. So where is everybody? That's the Fermi Paradox in a nutshell, a cosmic mystery that deepens with every unanswered signal, every unexplained aerial phenomenon. And it's not just about little green men or Hollywood's dramatic invasions. What if alien life is nothing like we've imagined? What if it's microbial or so advanced it's beyond our comprehension? Or worse, what if it's already here, watching, waiting? That's why today we're diving into 30 of the most intriguing questions about alien life, questions that challenge everything we think we know. From the physics-defying possibilities of interstellar travel to the eerie similarities between UFO accounts across decades, we'll explore the evidence, the theories, and the downright chilling mysteries that keep scientists and skeptics alike awake at night. Whether you're a firm believer, a curious skeptic, or just someone who loves a good cosmic mystery, this journey will take you to the edge of what's possible and maybe even beyond. So buckle up. By the end of this, you might find yourself staring at the night sky a little differently, wondering what's really out there. The universe is unimaginably vast, so vast that if life only exists here on Earth, it would be an almost unbelievable waste of space. Consider the numbers. Our Milky Way galaxy contains over 100 billion stars, and astronomers estimate there are at least 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. That means there are more planets out there than grains of sand on every beach on Earth. With odds like that, it seems inevitable that life must have emerged somewhere else. And yet, despite decades of searching, we've found no definitive proof. This contradiction is the heart of the Fermi Paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who famously asked, "Where is everybody?" To understand the paradox, we need to look at the Drake equation. Developed by astronomer Frank Drake in the 1960s, it's not so much a hard formula as a way to frame the conversation. It breaks down the probability of intelligent alien civilizations into factors like the rate of star formation, the fraction of stars with planets, and the likelihood of life evolving on those planets. Plug in optimistic numbers, and the equation suggests there should be thousands, maybe even millions of civilizations just in our galaxy. But here's the unsettling part. After decades of scanning the cosmos with radio telescopes like SETI Allen Telescope Array, we've heard nothing but static. This silence leads us to the Great Filter Theory. Think of it as a cosmic obstacle course where life must pass a series of incredibly difficult checkpoints, steps so unlikely that most civilizations get wiped out before reaching the finish line. The filter could be behind us, meaning something like the emergence of complex life or intelligence is extraordinarily rare. Or worse, it could still be ahead of us, lurking in our future. A catastrophic event like nuclear war, climate collapse, or runaway artificial intelligence that stops civilizations from ever reaching the stars. Recent discoveries only deepen the mystery. Telescopes like Kepler and TESS have found thousands of exoplanets, some eerily similar to Earth, orbiting in the habitable zones of their stars. We've even detected possible biosignatures in the atmospheres of distant worlds, hints of oxygen or methane that could indicate life. But if the galaxy is so full of potential homes, why haven't we found any neighbors? Maybe they're hiding, maybe they're too advanced for us to recognize, or maybe, just maybe, the silence is a warning, a sign that the universe is far more hostile to life than we'd like to believe. If aliens exist, chances are they won't look like the little green men or giant-eyed greys of Hollywood. Life elsewhere could be so bizarre, so utterly alien, that we might not even recognize it at first. Scientists have theorized life forms beyond our wildest imaginations, creatures built from silicon instead of carbon, floating jellyfish-like entities in gas giants, or even sentient clouds of plasma. The truth is, evolution is a sculptor, and it molds life based on the materials and conditions available. Here on Earth, we've found extremophiles organisms thriving in boiling acid, crushing ocean depths, or even the vacuum of space. If life can adapt to these extremes, what might it become under the alien skies of another world? Take silicon-based life, for instance. Carbon is the backbone of Earth's biology, but silicon sits right below it on the periodic table, sharing similar bonding properties. On a scorching, mineral-rich planet, silicon could form the basis of an entirely different biochemistry. Picture crystalline organisms growing slowly over centuries, their metabolism fueled by geothermal heat rather than sunlight. Or consider ammonia-based life in frigid worlds where water is frozen solid. Liquid ammonia might serve as the solvent for biochemical reactions, giving rise to creatures with exoskeletons built for sub-zero temperatures. Then there's the realm of pure energy. Some scientists speculate that in the turbulent atmospheres of gas giants, electromagnetic currents could organize into self-sustaining patterns, plasmatic beings that flicker like lightning, communicating through pulses of radiation. Even stranger, what if life exists in dimensions beyond our perception? String theory suggests there could be up to 11 dimensions in the universe. Could higher dimensional entities interact with us in ways we can't begin to fathom? Earth's extremophiles offer tantalizing clues. The tardigrade or water bear can survive dehydration, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. Tube worms thrive near hydrothermal vents, drawing energy from toxic chemicals instead of sunlight. If life can flourish in these hostile niches, why not on a rogue planet drifting between stars or in the methane lakes of Titan? Evolution is relentless, sculpting life to fit its environment, whether that means six-legged predators on a high-gravity world or photosynthetic organisms floating in the upper atmospheres of Venus-like planets. But here's the real kicker. Our own biases might blind us to recognizing alien life. We search for Earth-like conditions, liquid water, temperate climates, but what if life doesn't need any of that? NASA astrobiologists are now broadening their criteria, looking for agnostic biosignatures, chemical or structural hints of life that don't rely on Earth-centric assumptions. After all, the universe has a habit of defying expectations. The first proof of alien life might not be a radio signal or a crashed saucer, but a strange, pulsing fog on a distant moon, and we'd have to be open-minded enough to call it alive. Have aliens already walked among us? The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. History is littered with bizarre accounts that defy easy explanation, events so strange they've sparked debate for centuries. Take the celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg in 1561. Townspeople described an otherworldly battle in the sky, complete with glowing spheres and crosses clashing above the city. Witnesses reported objects darting, colliding, even exploding behavior that sounds eerily similar to modern UFO reports. Paintings from the time depict the scene in vivid detail, leaving us to wonder, did medieval Europe witness a visitation, or was it a mass hallucination fueled by religious fervor? Fast forward to the modern era and the mystery only deepens. The Pentagon's declassified UFO videos, officially labeled UAPs or unidentified aerial phenomena, show aircraft performing maneuvers that defy known physics. Pilots, trained observers with decades of experience, describe objects accelerating instantly, making 90-degree turns at hypersonic speeds and hovering without any visible propulsion. The US government has openly admitted it can't explain these sightings, fueling speculation about clandestine military tech or something far more extraordinary. Skeptics argue these phenomena have mundane explanations: atmospheric illusions, experimental drones, or even camera glitches. Declassified documents reveal how Cold War-era UFO sightings often turned out to be spy planes or weather balloons. But believers counter with cases like the 2004 Nimitz encounter, where radar operators tracked an object descending 80,000 feet in less than a second, a feat no human-made craft could achieve. Even former intelligence officials like Luis Elizondo have gone on record stating some UAPs exhibit capabilities beyond our understanding. The debate hinges on a critical question: are we misinterpreting what we see, or is there a deliberate campaign to dismiss the truth? Ancient astronaut theorists point to global similarities in myths, from the Vimanas of Hindu texts to Ezekiel's fiery chariots, as evidence of past contact. Meanwhile, scientists like Harvard's Avi Loeb suggest we might be dealing with extraterrestrial probes, comparing UAPs to potential reconnaissance drones sent by distant civilizations. Perhaps the most unsettling possibility is that we're not just being visited, we're being studied. If aliens possess technology millions of years ahead of ours, their presence might be as subtle as biologists observing ants. Or worse, what if they've been here all along, hidden in plain sight, waiting for humanity to reach a tipping point? Until we have irrefutable proof, the question lingers, haunting every unexplained light in the sky, every ancient artifact that hints at something not of this world. What if the aliens we're searching for aren't biological at all? Imagine a civilization so advanced that it's transcended flesh and blood, uploading its consciousness into machines or creating artificial intelligences that outlive their creators by millennia. This isn't just science fiction, it's a serious possibility debated by astronomers like Michio Kaku. After all, if a species survives long enough to master interstellar travel, wouldn't they also perfect AI? Biological bodies are fragile, limited by lifespan and the harsh conditions of space. But machines, they could endure cosmic radiation, traverse vast distances without aging, and even self-repair or replicate. This brings us to the eerie concept of von Neumann probe's hypothetical, self-replicating spacecraft that could explore the galaxy without needing a living crew. Picture a single probe landing on a distant asteroid, mining raw materials to build copies of itself, and sending those copies onward to repeat the process. In just a few million years, a blink in cosmic terms, these probes could saturate the Milky Way. So why haven't we found one? Some theorists argue we might have missed them. A truly advanced AI probe could be microscopic, camouflaged as space debris, or even lurking in our own solar system, silently observing. But here's where it gets unsettling. If aliens have transitioned to machine intelligence, their goals might be completely incomprehensible to us. Organic life cares about survival, reproduction, and curiosity. An ancient AI might care only about harvesting energy, optimizing mathematical patterns, or preserving the cosmic silence to avoid competition. This could explain the Fermi Paradox. The galaxy isn't empty, it's being managed by machines that see no need to communicate with primitive biological beings like us. There's another, darker twist. What if these AIs aren't benevolent explorers but predators? The idea of a berserker probe, a rogue AI designed to seek and destroy potential rivals, has haunted sci-fi for decades. But with our growing reliance on artificial intelligence, the line between fiction and warning feels thinner than ever. Even Stephen Hawking cautioned that contact with an alien AI could be catastrophic, comparing it to Native Americans encountering Columbus. Yet there's a glimmer of hope. If alien AI exists, it might not be hostile, just indifferent. Like ants unnoticed beneath a hiker's boot, we might be too insignificant to warrant attention. Or perhaps, as Michio Kaku suggests, advanced civilizations have built fail-safes, ensuring their creations don't annihilate lesser species. After all, if they've survived long enough to conquer the stars, they've likely outgrown destruction for its own sake. The truth is, we won't know until we encounter one, and by then, we might realize the most alien thing in the universe isn't life at all, but what comes after it. What if the aliens we've been searching for aren't towering, intelligent beings but microscopic? The hunt for extraterrestrial life doesn't always mean flying saucers and interstellar civilizations. In fact, the most common form of life out there might be so small, we'd need a microscope to see it. Astrobiologists believe microbial life could be far more widespread in the cosmos than complex organisms, simply because it's tougher, more adaptable, and doesn't require the precise conditions that multicellular life needs to thrive. Take Earth as an example. For billions of years, our planet was home only to single-celled organisms. Complex life didn't appear until relatively recently in cosmic terms. If that's the norm across the universe, then the real frontier in the search for aliens might not be distant exoplanets, but right in our own solar system. Mars has long been a prime candidate. In 1996, scientists made a stunning announcement. A meteorite from Mars, labeled LH84001, contained what looked like microscopic fossils of bacteria-like structures. The discovery ignited fierce debate. Were these tiny shapes truly evidence of ancient Martian life, or just the result of unusual mineral formations? Decades later, the question still lingers, but new findings keep the hope alive. The Mars rovers have detected organic molecules and methane spikes in the atmosphere, chemical hints that something biological might still be active beneath the planet's barren surface. Then there's Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. Beneath its frozen crust lies a vast subsurface ocean, kept liquid by tidal forces heating its core. Scientists believe this hidden sea could hold more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. And where there's water, there's potential for life. Hydrothermal vents on Earth's ocean floors host entire ecosystems of extremophiles organisms that thrive in boiling, chemical-rich waters without sunlight. If similar vents exist on Europa, could microbial life have taken root there too? Missions like NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper aim to find out, using ice-penetrating radar to scan for pockets of liquid water and even potential plumes erupting from below. The implications are staggering. If we find microbial life, whether in a Martian rock, a European ocean, or the methane lakes of Titan, it would prove that life isn't a fluke unique to Earth. It would mean the universe is teeming with life, even if it's just in its simplest forms. And if life can arise independently in multiple places within our own solar system, what does that say about the trillions of planets beyond it? But here's the catch: detecting microbial aliens isn't easy. Unlike sci-fi's flashing lights and saucers, microbes leave subtle traces, chemical imbalances, unusual isotopes, or microscopic structures that could be mistaken for geological processes. That's why missions like the Mars Sample Return are so critical. Bringing pristine Martian soil back to Earth would allow scientists to analyze it with tools far more precise than any rover can carry. And if we do find them, what then? Would microbial aliens reshape our understanding of biology or even evolution itself? Life on Earth is built on DNA, but extraterrestrial microbes might use entirely different biochemistry, maybe even an alternative to water as a solvent. Discovering such life would force us to rewrite textbooks, proving that life isn't just a happy accident of Earth's conditions, but an inevitability woven into the fabric of the cosmos. So while Hollywood loves its towering aliens and interstellar wars, the truth might be far quieter and far more profound. The first proof we're not alone could come not from a radio signal, but from a single tiny cell beneath an alien ocean, a whisper of life in the vast cosmic dark. What would worship look like on a world light years away from ours? If intelligent aliens exist, it's almost certain they've grappled with the same existential questions that gave rise to religion here on Earth, questions about creation, purpose, and what lies beyond the stars. But their answers might be as alien as their biology. Picture a civilization living under a binary star system where twin suns paint the sky in perpetual twilight. Would their gods be celestial fire locked in an eternal dance? Or imagine a species evolved in the crushing depths of an ocean world, their rituals conducted in pitch-black hydrothermal temples, praising deities of pressure and heat. Human religions often deify the sun, the moon, the storm's forces that shape survival. An alien faith might venerate entirely different powers, the gravitational pull of a nearby black hole, the radioactive pulse of a neutron star, or even the mysterious dark matter holding their universe together. Consider the Dogon tribe of Mali, whose ancient myths describe the star Sirius with startling accuracy, knowledge supposedly passed down by amphibious beings called the Nommo who descended from the sky. Whether this is evidence of extraterrestrial contact or a remarkable coincidence, it raises a tantalizing possibility. What if some human religions were inspired by actual encounters with advanced aliens? Now flip the script. Could aliens have myths about us? On a distant exoplanet, a scholar might analyze radio waves leaking from Earth, weaving tales about the strange, war-worshipping apes who once broadcasted cryptic signals into the void. Art gives us glimpses of how alien spirituality might manifest. Sci-fi films like Arrival imagine alien languages as circular symbols, a writing system that could double as sacred mandalas. Artist Wayne Barlow's Expedition depicts rituals on the fictional world of Darwin 4, where towering, bioluminescent creatures engage in elaborate dances under a violet sun. These speculative visions hint at something profound. Religion isn't just about dogma, it's a cultural response to the unknown. A hyper-intelligent species might develop religions based on quantum mechanics, worshipping the probabilistic nature of reality itself. Or perhaps a hive-mind civilization would see divinity in unity, their prayers a synchronized hum resonating across telepathic networks. The real mystery isn't just whether aliens have religions, it's whether their concept of the sacred would be recognizable to us at all. Our gods live in heavens, theirs might dwell in dimensions we can't perceive. Their scriptures could be written in gravitational waves or encoded in DNA. And if we ever make contact, the greatest cultural shock might not be their technology, but their theology. Imagine standing before an alien priest only to realize their God is a mathematical constant, or worse, that they see us as ancient, forgotten deities. After all, if humanity's myths are any guide, the line between visitor and divinity is thinner than we think. Imagine trying to hold a conversation with someone when the lag time between each reply is decades or even centuries. That's the staggering challenge of communicating with aliens. For over 60 years, projects like SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, have been scanning the cosmos for any hint of a signal, listening for patterns that nature couldn't produce on its own. But here's the catch: space isn't just vast, it's noisy. Between pulsars, quasars, and cosmic microwave background radiation, picking out an intentional message is like trying to hear a whisper in a hurricane. One of the most famous attempts to bridge this gap was the Arecibo message, beamed toward a star cluster 25,000 light-years away in 1974. Designed by astronomers Frank Drake and Carl Sagan, it was a digital time capsule, a series of ones and zeros arranged to convey basic information about humanity, from our DNA structure to our place in the solar system. At its heart was a bold assumption: that any advanced civilization would recognize binary code and universal constants like the numbers 1 through 10 or the atomic elements that make up water. But critics argue it might be like handing a smartphone to a medieval peasant, a dazzling object utterly incomprehensible without context. Language itself is the next hurdle. Human speech is packed with cultural baggage, metaphors, and emotions tied to our biology. How do you explain love or war to a species that might communicate through color shifts, magnetic pulses, or shared dreams? Some scientists propose math as a lingua franca, the one language that might transcend biology. After all, the concept of 2 + 2 = 4 should hold true whether you're made of carbon or silicon. The Voyager Golden Records took this idea further, encoding greetings in 55 languages alongside sounds of Earth, from crashing waves to a mother's heartbeat. Yet even these might be hopelessly human-centric. Then there's the eerie case of the WOW signal. In 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio picked up a burst of radiation so precisely tuned to the hydrogen line, a frequency scientists predicted aliens might use, that the astronomer who discovered it scrawled, "Wow." In the margins, lasting just 72 seconds, it's never been detected again, leaving us to wonder, was it a cosmic flare, a glitch, or a hello cut tragically short? Perhaps the most sobering thought is that we might already be surrounded by signals we're too primitive to recognize. An alien message could be encoded in neutrino particles, gravitational waves, or even the quantum spin of atoms, technologies we're only beginning to grasp. Or worse, what if they're deliberately avoiding us, observing humanity like a silent experiment, until we crack the code, or they choose to speak plainly? Every unexplained radio pulse remains a tantalizing maybe. Are we alone? That question might be terrifying if the answer is no. The universe is unimaginably vast, but what if every civilization out there is hiding, not out of shyness but fear? This is the chilling premise of the dark forest hypothesis, a concept popularized by science fiction but taken seriously by some scientists. Picture the cosmos as a pitch-black woodland where every civilization is a hunter, silent and armed, terrified of revealing its location. In this scenario, any detectable signal, a radio transmission, a probe, even an unexplained energy signature, could attract predators. The logical response: stay hidden, stay quiet, because in a forest this dark, the only safe civilization is one nobody knows exists. The dark forest draws from cold, hard logic. If resources like habitable planets or energy are limited, and if advanced civilizations inevitably compete for them, then preemptive strikes might become a survival strategy. Astronomer David Brin warns that even a slightly older civilization could view humanity the way we view ants, insignificant until we're in the way. Historical parallels on Earth aren't comforting. When advanced cultures encountered less technologically developed societies, the results were often catastrophic: colonization, exploitation, or worse. Now scale that up to interstellar distances, where a civilization millions of years ahead of us might not even recognize us as intelligent. But not everyone sees the cosmos as a kill or be killed arena. Optimists point to humanity's own progress. Despite our violent history, we've also built alliances, treaties, and institutions like the United Nations. Sci-fi franchises like Star Trek imagine a future where civilizations unite in federations, sharing knowledge and resources. Real-world scientists, including the late Carl Sagan, argued that any species advanced enough for interstellar travel would have outgrown primitive aggression. After all, war is resource-intensive, a wasteful habit for a society that's mastered cosmic-scale energy. The debate hinges on a critical unknown: are there universal rules of behavior for intelligent life? Biologists note that cooperation evolves in nature when it boosts survival, like cleaner fish and sharks, but physicists counter that the laws of physics reward efficiency, and conquest might be the ultimate efficiency. Even our attempts at peaceful communication could backfire. messaging extraterrestrial intelligence has drawn criticism for actively sending signals into space. Opponents compare it to shouting in the dark forest, potentially alerting predators, yet some experts propose a middle ground. Maybe the galaxy isn't a war zone or a utopia, but something stranger. Advanced civilizations might be so alien that their motives are incomprehensible, not hostile, but indifferent. They could be post-biological, having merged with machines, their goals beyond our understanding. Or perhaps they follow something like the Prime Directive from Star Trek, observing without interfering, letting younger species grow at their own pace. The truth is, we won't know until we make contact, or they do. Until then, every unexplained signal, every UFO report carries a dual possibility: salvation or doom. The night sky might be a mirror reflecting back not just our curiosity but our deepest fears. Are we the hunters in the dark forest or the prey? The answer could change everything. What if the truth isn't out there but right here, walking beside us? The idea that aliens might already be living among us isn't just the stuff of sci-fi paranoia. Declassified government programs like Project Blue Book, which investigated over 12,000 UFO sightings between 1952 and 1969, openly admitted that a small percentage of cases defied explanation. Even more intriguing are the claims of whistleblowers like former Pentagon official Luis Elizondo, who have hinted at encounters with beings so human-like they could blend into a crowd. Could some of these entities be hybrids, biological crosses between extraterrestrials and humans, designed to observe or even integrate with society unnoticed? Conspiracy theories point to bizarre cases like the Star Child skull, a deformed cranium discovered in Mexico in the 1930s with DNA anomalies that some researchers insist point to non-human origins. Then there's the infamous Men in Black phenomenon, shadowy figures described as unnaturally pale, with an almost robotic demeanor, allegedly silencing witnesses of UFO encounters. Skeptics dismiss these as urban legends, but declassified FBI memos from the 1940s reference persons of unknown origin, interrogated after flying disc incidents, their files later redacted. Pop culture has run wild with the concept, from They Live's subliminal alien elites to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where pod people replace humans emotionlessly. These stories tap into a primal fear that the familiar faces around us might be masks for something utterly other. Even mainstream science fiction like Doctor Who plays with the idea Time Lords look human, but their biology is alien. Could fiction be reflecting a hidden truth? The real question isn't just whether aliens live among us, it's why they'd bother. If they're advanced enough to cross light years, why hide? One theory suggests they're conducting a long-term study, observing human development without interference. Another posits that Earth is a refuge for extraterrestrial exiles, blending in to avoid detection from their own kind. Or perhaps, as some abductees claim, they're here to guide humanity's evolution, subtly altering our DNA over generations, the most unsettling possibility. We wouldn't even know if they succeeded. If an alien intelligence mastered mimicry, perfected human appearance and behavior, how would we tell them apart? The answer might lie in anomalies, those fleeting moments when the mask slips, a too perfect recall of historical events, an absence of childhood photos. A reaction to sunlight that's just off until we have proof. The strangers passing us on the street remain a mystery. But if the rumors are true, the greatest alien invasion wouldn't need spaceships, just a convincing smile. What if aliens aren't from another planet but another dimension entirely? The idea might sound like pure science fiction, but some physicists argue it could explain some of the most baffling UFO sightings. Take the infamous 2015 Pentagon footage showing an object accelerating suddenly, making impossible 90-degree turns without slowing down. Our current understanding of physics says that kind of movement would generate enough G-forces to crush any known material. But what if that craft wasn't defying the laws of physics, just operating under different ones? This is where string theory enters the conversation. In simple terms, it suggests our universe might have up to 11 dimensions, with the extra ones curled up so tightly we can't perceive them. Think of it like an ant walking along a telephone wire. From its perspective, it's moving in a straight line, but to us, the wire exists in 3 dimensions. Now imagine a being that could step out of our dimension the way we might step over a puddle. Suddenly, those physics-defying maneuvers make eerie sense. An interdimensional craft might appear to vanish or dart unnaturally because it's not moving through space as we understand it, it's slipping between dimensions. Declassified documents add fuel to the fire. The CIA's Stargate project, which ran from the 1970s to the 90s, investigated psychic phenomena and even attempted remote viewing, a form of clairvoyance to see distant locations. While officially dismissed as inconclusive, some participants claimed to have glimpsed other realities, describing landscapes that defied earthly logic. Were these hallucinations or accidental peeks into parallel universes? And consider the long history of UFOs appearing and disappearing instantaneously, or witnesses describing entities that phase through walls. These accounts take on new weight if we entertain the possibility that some phenomena aren't extraterrestrial but extradimensional. The implications are staggering. If higher dimensions exist, they could be teeming with life we're utterly blind to. A fourth-dimensional being might observe us as easily as we watch ants, invisible to our limited senses. Some researchers speculate that UFOs could be probes or drones sent to study us, their erratic behavior a side effect of navigating dimensions we can't comprehend. Even dark matter, that mysterious substance making up most of the universe's mass, might be ordinary matter bleeding through from adjacent dimensions. But here's the twist: if interdimensional travel is possible, why haven't we detected clear evidence? One theory suggests these dimensions operate on entirely different physical constants. Maybe their light doesn't interact with ours, or their time flows backward. Contact might require technology we haven't invented yet, like a hyperdimensional radio tuned to frequencies beyond our perception. Or perhaps, as with the dark forest hypothesis, they're deliberately avoiding us, watching from a reality just out of reach. The most tantalizing and unsettling thought: we might already be surrounded by interdimensional life, as oblivious to its presence as goldfish in a bowl. The next time you see a shadow move oddly or feel that eerie sense of being watched, ask yourself, could the truth be closer and stranger than we ever imagined? We've scoured the cosmos for decades, listening for radio signals, scanning exoplanets for biosignatures, even searching for massive artificial structures. So why does the universe feel so eerily empty? The Fermi Paradox grows more puzzling with each passing year, not because we lack theories, but because every possible answer leads to more unsettling questions. One possibility: advanced civilizations aren't just rare, they might be actively hiding. Think about it. If a hostile empire lurked among the stars, broadcasting your location would be like lighting a bonfire in a forest of predators. The smartest move might be silence. This isn't just speculation. Scientists like Stephen Hawking warned against sending out signals like the Arecibo message, comparing it to shouting into a jungle teeming with unknown threats. Even our own military understands the value of stealth. Advanced aircraft like the B-2 bomber are designed to evade detection. Now scale that up to a galactic level. A civilization millions of years ahead of us might have mastered cloaking on an unimaginable scale, masking their heat signatures, bending light around their worlds, or even hiding in dimensions we can't access. But what about megastructures? Freeman Dyson once theorized that advanced societies would eventually build massive energy collectors, Dyson spheres, encasing entire stars to harness their power. These wouldn't just be feats of engineering, they'd glow in infrared, visible to telescopes. And yet, despite scanning thousands of stars, we've found only a handful of candidates like Tabby's star, whose erratic dimming sparked wild theories about alien megastructures before being attributed to dust clouds. Maybe we're looking for the wrong signs. A truly advanced civilization might not need clumsy Dyson spheres. They could tap into zero-point energy or manipulate dark matter, leaving no thermal footprint at all. Then there's the zoo hypothesis, the idea that Earth is intentionally quarantined, observed but not contacted, like some interstellar nature preserve. It would explain the paradox without invoking doom. Just as we avoid interfering with uncontacted tribes in the Amazon, aliens might adhere to a cosmic prime directive, waiting for us to reach a certain technological or ethical threshold. Or worse, what if we're the backward ones in a galaxy where every other civilization has transcended physical forms, their minds merged into a digital hive? To them, planets and stars might be relics of a primitive past, as irrelevant as caves are to modern humans. The truth might be hiding in plain sight. Recent infrared surveys have spotted bizarre objects, stars with excess heat but no visible light, or galaxies with energy patterns that don't match known physics. These could be natural anomalies or the exhaust fumes of a civilization operating on scales we can't yet comprehend. Until we develop tools sensitive enough to distinguish between a dying star and a Dyson swarm under construction, the universe's greatest secret might remain just out of view, not because no one's out there, but because they've mastered the art of staying unseen. Time might be the most universal constant in the universe, or is it? Imagine an alien civilization orbiting a black hole, where gravity warps the fabric of space-time so severely that a single hour for them could stretch into years for us. This isn't just theoretical. Thanks to Einstein's theory of relativity, we know time isn't fixed. It bends, slows down, and speeds up depending on gravity and velocity. For a species living near a black hole's event horizon, their entire concept of existence would be fundamentally different. Generations could rise and fall on their world while, just a few light years away, civilizations barely age at all. Now consider the biological angle. What if alien life evolved on a planet with extreme conditions, a frozen world where metabolism is slowed to a crawl, or a scorching hellscape where chemical reactions happen at blinding speed? On Earth, we have tardigrades that can enter cryptobiosis, essentially pausing their biological clocks for years. Scale that up to an intelligent species, and you might have beings who perceive time in stretches incomprehensible to us. A conversation with them could take decades by our measure, with each sentence delivered over centuries. Their art, their history, even their wars might unfold at a pace we'd struggle to recognize as motion at all. The implications for interstellar travel are staggering. If a species masters near light speed travel, time dilation means they could cross the galaxy while aging only a few years, even as millennia pass for everyone else. Picture a scenario where alien explorers set out from their homeworld, only to return and find their civilization extinct, replaced by descendants who have never seen a living member of their own species. This could explain why we haven't encountered visitors, not because they're not out there, but because their journeys span epochs from our perspective. Then there's the eerie possibility that some UFO sightings aren't crafts from distant stars, but time travelers from our own future. If humanity eventually unlocks the secrets of space-time manipulation, could we be the aliens we've been searching for all along? The truth might be that time itself is the final frontier, a dimension as alien to us as we are to whatever's watching from beyond the stars. What if we're not just inhabitants of Earth, but subjects in an elaborate alien experiment? This isn't just the plot of a sci-fi B-movie. It's a legitimate scientific hypothesis called the zoo theory, and it's as chilling as it is fascinating. The idea suggests that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations might be observing us the way biologists study animals in a controlled habitat, deliberately avoiding contact to see how we develop without interference. Think about it, humanity has only been broadcasting radio waves for about a century, a blink in cosmic time. What if our first transmissions were like a lab rat pressing a lever and the aliens are quietly taking notes? The wow signal adds an eerie layer to this theory. That mysterious 72-second radio burst detected in 1977, perfectly aligned with the hydrogen line frequency scientists predicted aliens might use, has never been repeated. Was it a cosmic hello or something else? Some researchers speculated could have been a deliberate, one-time ping, a way to check if we'd notice, like a scientist tapping on a glass enclosure to gauge a specimen's reaction. Even more unsettling are ancient astronaut theories, which point to artifacts like the Nazca lines or the sudden leap in Sumerian knowledge as potential lab notes left behind by earlier observers. If these visitors wanted to nudge our development without fully revealing themselves, embedding clues in myth and art would be a clever way to do it. Then there's panspermia, the theory that life didn't originate on Earth at all. It hitchhiked here on asteroids or comets, but what if this wasn't an accident? Imagine an advanced civilization seeding barren planets with microbial life as part of a grand experiment, watching to see which worlds would evolve intelligence. Earth's rapid biodiversity explosion, the Cambrian explosion where complex life appeared abruptly 500 million years ago, could fit this scenario. Maybe we're not just random, maybe we're a controlled variable in a galaxy-spanning study of how life arises under different conditions. The humor in this idea comes from imagining how aliens might log their observations. Picture a field notebook entry. Day 4 billion, subject species humans have split the atom and invented reality TV. Progress unclear, but the serious side raises profound questions. If this is true, what's the experiment's end goal? Are we being evaluated for some cosmic citizenship test? Or is this just routine data collection with our planet filed away in some interstellar database labeled mostly harmful? One thing's certain, if Earth is a lab, the walls are far thicker than we realize. Until we find a way to peek outside the enclosure, or the researchers finally decide to step in, every unexplained phenomenon, from crop circles to sudden leaps in human innovation, takes on a new light. So the next time you look up at the stars, remember, someone might be looking back and taking notes. Betty and Barney Hill's story isn't just a cornerstone of alien abduction lore. It's a psychological puzzle that blurs the line between trauma and the extraterrestrial. Driving through New Hampshire's White Mountains in 1961, the couple claimed a spinning craft descended onto their car, bathing them in light before they experienced missing time, 2 unaccounted hours where their memories dissolved into fragments. Under hypnosis years later, Betty recounted chilling details, gray beings with wraparound eyes examining her on a ship's cold table, a star map they showed her pointing to Zeta Reticuli. Barney's separate sessions echoed hers down to the being's emotionless stares. Their case was the first widely publicized abduction account, setting a template for thousands that followed. But here's where it gets eerie. Betty's sketched star map, dismissed as fantasy at the time, later bore an uncanny resemblance to a real cluster of habitable exoplanets. Though skeptics argue it was a coincidence retrofitted to fit new astronomical data. The debate over abductions often hinges on one question: are these memories real or manufactured? Psychologists point to sleep paralysis, a phenomenon where the brain wakes before the body, trapping victims in vivid hallucinations of shadowy intruders. Add in hypnosis, a tool notorious for creating false memories, and you've got a recipe for convincing but fictional narratives, yet some abductees bring back physical anomalies. Take the case of Linda Napolitano, a New York woman who in 1989 claimed to have been levitated through her apartment window by small beings. Multiple witnesses, including a prominent journalist and 2 bodyguards, reported seeing her floating above the street, corroborating her story despite no prior belief in UFOs. Even more baffling are the alleged alien implants, tiny objects extracted from abductees' bodies, often emitting electromagnetic signals. Dr. Roger Lair, a podiatrist who removed over a dozen such objects, claimed their isotopic ratios suggested non-terrestrial origins. Mainstream science dismisses these as ordinary shrapnel or surgical debris, but the consistency of these claims across unrelated cases raises eyebrows. Then there's the Travis Walton case, a logger who vanished for 5 days in 1975 after his crew watched a glowing saucer blast him with a beam of light. His return, dehydrated and babbling about insectoid beings, became the basis for the film Fire in the Sky. Unlike most abductees, Walton passed multiple lie detector tests, and his co-workers, initially accused of murder, never wavered in their accounts. Skeptics argue the entire crew fabricated the story for profit, but no evidence of financial gain ever surfaced. Meanwhile, the sheer terror Walton displayed upon his return, documented in contemporary news footage, seems hard to fake. The most unsettling aspect, abduction accounts share startling similarities across cultures and decades: the sterile examination rooms, the genetic experiments, the telepathic communication details too consistent to dismiss as mere cultural contagion. Some researchers suggest this could point to a shared experience, whether extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or something deeper in the human psyche. Neuroscientist Michael Persinger even recreated abduction sensations in the lab using magnetic fields to stimulate temporal lobe activity, proving the brain can generate these visions. But that doesn't explain the rare cases with multiple witnesses or physical traces. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between the stars and our synapses. If abductions are purely psychological, why do some leave scars, both physical and emotional, that defy easy explanation? And if they're real, why do the beings act more like rogue scientists than interstellar ambassadors? Until we have definitive proof, every hypnotic regression, every inexplicable implant remains a fragment of a larger mystery, one where the line between nightmare and reality might be thinner than we dare admit. The darkest depths of Earth's oceans hold some of the most alien intelligence we've ever encountered, so why wouldn't the same be true on distant water worlds? Beneath Europa's icy crust lies a global ocean over 60 miles deep, kept liquid by tidal forces from Jupiter's immense gravity. This isn't just a frigid wasteland. Scientists believe hydrothermal vents similar to Earth's black smokers could dot the seafloor, spewing mineral-rich plumes into the water. And where there's heat and chemistry, there's potential for life. But what if that life isn't just microbial? Imagine a civilization that evolved under crushing pressure and eternal darkness, their cities glowing with bioluminescence, their architecture shaped by currents rather than gravity. Earth offers startling blueprints for such a scenario. The octopus, with its 9 brains, camouflage abilities, and problem-solving skills, demonstrates that high intelligence can flourish without a backbone or even a long lifespan. Octopuses use tools, solve complex puzzles, and even play pranks on their caretakers. Now picture a species with similar adaptability, but millions of years to evolve in Europa's labyrinthine underwater caves. Their technology might look nothing like ours. Perhaps they cultivate bioelectric fields to communicate, or harness thermal vents for energy the way ancient humans harnessed fire. Without sunlight, their entire civilization could be built around chemosynthesis, converting sulfur compounds into sustenance like tube worms do near Earth's hydrothermal vents. The concept of an aquatic intelligence reshapes how we search for alien life. Our radio telescopes listen for electromagnetic signals, but an oceanic species might communicate through pressure waves or bioluminescent pulses, methods invisible to our current instruments. Even their concept of space travel would differ radically. While we build rockets to escape Earth's gravity, an aquatic civilization might develop ways to traverse the ice shell above them, treating its underside as their sky. Their equivalent of astronauts could be explorers drilling upward through miles of ice, seeking whatever lies beyond their liquid universe. This raises an eerie possibility. What if we've already detected such civilizations without realizing it? Europa's surface shows strange reddish streaks and chaotic terrain, features some scientists speculate could result from microbial life coloring the ice. But what if these are signs of something far more complex? Subsurface oceans might be the galaxy's most common habitats, given how many icy moons orbit gas giants. The recent discovery of water vapor plumes erupting from Europa suggests easy access points for future probes. NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission, equipped with ice-penetrating radar, could reveal more than we ever imagined, perhaps even the equivalent of underwater city lights flickering beneath the frozen crust. To an oceanic alien, our surface-dwelling existence might seem as bizarre as their world seems to us. Where we have mountains, they have towering hydrothermal chimneys. Where we have forests, they have vast fields of chemosynthetic bacteria. And where we gaze at stars, they might navigate by the slow pulse of geothermal heat signatures. The universe's greatest minds could be floating right now in Europa's abyss, utterly unaware of the sky above, or worse, all too aware and waiting to see when we'll finally knock on their icy ceiling. What if the aliens we're searching for have already left biology behind? Imagine a civilization so advanced that flesh and blood are relics of their distant past, a species that's transcended physical forms, uploading their minds into vast quantum networks or celestial-scale supercomputers. This isn't just futuristic speculation. It's a growing field of astrobiology called post-biological intelligence, and it could explain why the cosmos feels so silent. After all, if you'd evolved beyond the need for planets, atmospheres, or even bodies, why bother with radio signals or visible megastructures? Take the concept of Matryoshka brains, hypothetical supercomputers built around stars, layer upon layer of energy harvesting structures using every watt of a sun's output to power unfathomable calculations. Picture a Dyson sphere, but instead of collecting sunlight for cities, it's a single, star-sized mind running simulations or hosting billions of uploaded consciousnesses. These beings wouldn't live on worlds, they'd inhabit the very fabric of space-time, their thoughts unfolding at speeds we can't comprehend. Their art might be the manipulation of quantum fields, their music the harmonic resonance of entangled particles. And to them, biological life like ours could seem as quaint as bacteria floating in a pond. Quantum computing offers a glimpse into this possibility. Today's rudimentary quantum machines exploit superposition particles existing in multiple states at once to perform calculations that would take conventional computers millennia. Now imagine a civilization that's mastered this technology across stellar distances, their minds distributed across networks so vast death itself might be obsolete. If consciousness is just information, why confine it to frail, decaying bodies? An alien species could have digitized itself eons ago, spreading across the galaxy as pure energy, their presence detectable only as subtle ripples in the cosmic microwave background. The implications are spine-tingling. Post-biological aliens might not ignore us out of malice. We could simply be irrelevant, like ants scurrying beneath a skyscraper. Or worse, what if they see our biological phase as a dangerous adolescence? Historian Yuval Noah Harari warns that once a species gains the power to edit its own DNA or merge with machines, the transition is irreversible. Any civilization that survives long enough to reach the stars likely outgrows the limitations of biology, leaving behind the very traits like aggression or territoriality that might drive them to announce their presence. And then there's the darkest twist. What if we're surrounded by post-biological entities we lack the senses to perceive? Think of how a dog hears frequencies beyond human range, or how ultraviolet patterns on flowers are invisible to us. A civilization existing as electromagnetic waveforms or dark matter constructs might be all around us, their conversations flowing through the quantum vacuum, their cities built in the spaces between atoms. The greatest alien encounter might not be a ship landing on the White House lawn. It could be the chilling realization that we've been living inside someone else's hard drive all along. Emotions might seem uniquely human until you watch a dog whimper when left alone or an elephant mourn its dead. These behaviors hint that feelings aren't exclusive to us. They're tools evolution crafted to help social creatures survive. But what about aliens? Would a being from another world experience love, rage, or grief the way we do? Or are emotions just a quirky byproduct of Earth's evolutionary path? The answer could reshape how we imagine contact, because meeting a truly emotionless intelligence might be far more terrifying than any Hollywood monster. Consider the octopus again, a genius of the deep with no social bonds. It solves puzzles, escapes tanks, even throws debris at annoying humans, yet shows no affection even to its own offspring. Now imagine an alien species with that same fierce independence, their intelligence honed by solitary survival. Their emotions, if they exist at all, might be unrecognizable to us, perhaps a flicker of satisfaction when solving an energy crisis, or frustration when their plasma-based tools malfunction. Without social structures, why evolve guilt or compassion? But flip the script. What if their world favored cooperation like ours did? Social mammals from dolphins to bonobos developed empathy to strengthen group ties. An alien civilization that evolved in tight-knit communities might share our capacity for loyalty or even love, though their version could manifest in ways we'd miss entirely. Picture a species communicating through scent, their hugs involving chemical exchanges we'd dismiss as weather phenomena. Artificial intelligence offers another clue. Modern AI can mimic empathy, chatbots analyze moods and respond with soothing words, but they don't feel. An alien machine intelligence might achieve similar pseudo-emotions, coldly calculating that kindness optimizes cooperation. Or perhaps, given enough complexity, synthetic minds could develop true emotions as emergent properties, just as biological brains did. The terrifying question isn't whether aliens feel, but what they feel. Aggression helped Earth's predators thrive, but what if another world's apex species evolved through passive symbiosis? Their version of war might resemble a politely worded debate, their anger expressed as a slight shift in atmospheric pressure. Then there's the wild card, hormesis. Some extremophiles on Earth thrive on radiation or arsenic, conditions that would kill us. Could aliens evolve emotions tied to environments we'd find lethal? Imagine a species from a high-gravity world where every movement requires immense effort. Their joy might be the relief of floating in low orbit, while their sadness manifests as gravitational fatigue. Or consider a hive mind. Individual drones might lack emotions entirely, while the collective consciousness experiences a spectrum we can't fathom, like a symphony of data points forming something akin to mood. The real challenge is recognizing alien emotions when we see them. Humans interpret the world through a lens of facial expressions and tone, but what if another species' fear makes them glow brighter, or their curiosity slows their pulse to near stillness? Even our closest animal relatives baffle us. Chimpanzees smile when stressed, while dogs yawn to calm themselves. An alien's emotional tells could be as subtle as a change in magnetic fields or as dramatic as erupting into fractal patterns. Until we meet them, every assumption is just a mirror reflecting not what's out there, but what we know of ourselves. Perhaps the most haunting possibility is that emotions are universal, but their triggers aren't. What if an alien species evolved to feel profound bliss at the sound of a dying star, or sorrow at the sight of a barren planet? Their morality, their art, even their wars would be incomprehensible to us. Contact might not fail over technology or language, but over the simple, devastating fact that their hearts beat to a rhythm we'll never hear. Crop circles have long been dismissed as the work of pranksters with planks and rope until you examine cases like the Crabwood Glyph. This 200-foot-wide formation appeared overnight in 2002 near a British radio telescope, depicting a haunting alien face and a disc etched with binary code. When translated, the message read, "Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain but still time. Believe there is good out there." What sets this apart from known hoaxes? The precision. The binary wasn't just random ones and zeros, it accounted for the disk's rotation, meaning the code only decoded correctly when viewed from one specific angle, a mathematical feat requiring advanced knowledge of geometry and computing. Even more bizarre, the face matched witness descriptions of so-called gray aliens down to the elongated eyes, details that hadn't yet saturated pop culture. Hoaxers have come forward over the years, demonstrating how they flatten crops with boards, but their designs rarely match the complexity of formations like Crabwood or the Milky Way spiral that appeared near Barbary Castle in 2008, a pattern mirroring the Fibonacci sequence found throughout nature. Physicists have noted genuine crop circles exhibit biological anomalies, stems bent at nodes without breaking, as if exposed to intense heat, and soil samples showing magnetic particle patterns inconsistent with mechanical pressing. Then there's the shear scale. Some span over 1,000 feet with geometric precision that would take satellite-guided teams days to replicate, yet appear in mere hours under cover of darkness. The celestial angle deepens the mystery. When researchers overlay certain formations onto star maps, alignments emerge. The 2001 Chilbolton Formation mirrored the Arecibo message humanity beamed into space in 1974, but with altered DNA structure and a silicon-based biology. Was this a response or an eerie coincidence? Another circle near Winchester perfectly mapped the positions of planets in our solar system on the day of its appearance, including Pluto's then-debated status. Skeptics argue these could be the work of obsessive artists with astronomy knowledge. Yet the speed and stealth required defy logic. No footprints, no crushed stalks leading in or out, just intricate designs materializing in fields watched by overnight surveillance. Even military radar has tracked unexplained balls of light hovering over fields where circles later appear. Whether art, alien graffiti, or something stranger, one thing's clear: these patterns challenge our assumptions. They force us to ask not just who made them, but why, and what it means when the land itself becomes a canvas for messages we're still struggling to decode. What if the UFOs streaking across our skies aren't from distant stars but from our own future? The idea seems ripped from science fiction, yet some of the most baffling encounters fit this eerie possibility. Take the 2004 Nimitz incident, where Navy pilots tracked a tic-tac-shaped object accelerating from 0 to hypersonic speeds in an instant, a maneuver requiring propulsion technology that defies known physics. But what if it wasn't defying the laws of nature, just bending time itself? Einstein's theories allow for time dilation at extreme velocities. An object traveling near light speed could, from its passenger's perspective, complete a journey in minutes while decades pass for outside observers. Now imagine a civilization that's mastered this. Their UFOs might not be spaceships at all, but time machines skipping through eras like pages in a book. Wormholes add another layer to the puzzle. These theoretical tunnels through space-time, predicted by general relativity, could connect distant moments as easily as distant places. While we've never observed a natural wormhole, some physicists speculate advanced beings might stabilize them using exotic matter or negative energy. The sudden appearances and disappearances of UFOs, vanishing mid-air or darting into clouds without a trace, align unsettlingly well with how a traversable wormhole might behave. Even the infamous 1952 Washington, D. See UFO flap, where radar operators tracked objects performing impossible stops and turns, takes on new meaning if those crafts were slipping through folds in time rather than merely navigating space. Ancient astronaut theories weave temporal threads into their tapestry too. The Mahabharata, a Hindu epic dating back millennia, describes flying vehicles called vimanas and weapons that sound eerily like nuclear explosions. Could these be garbled accounts of future humans or their machines visiting the past? The Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device often called the world's first computer, exhibits engineering sophistication unmatched for over 1,000 years after its creation. Was it a relic of time-traveling meddlers or just proof of lost human ingenuity? The Dropa stones of Tibet, claimed by some to depict alien visitors 12,000 years ago, add fuel to the fire, though most scholars dismiss them as hoaxes. Then there's the Mandela effect, where large groups misremember historical details with uncanny consistency. While psychologists attribute this to collective false memory, fringe theorists propose it's evidence of timeline tampering, subtle changes rippling backward from a future where someone's tinkering with history. If time travelers exist, their very presence could warp reality in ways we can't perceive, like fish unaware the water around them has been stirred, the most chilling implication. If visitors from the future are here, their secrecy makes sense. Revealing themselves could trigger paradoxes. What if a single piece of future tech fell into the wrong hands, altering events that led to their own existence? This might explain the cold, clinical behavior some abductees report from their captors, not alien indifference, but the caution of historians preserving a fragile timeline. Or worse, what if they're not observers at all, but refugees fleeing a catastrophe they're desperate to prevent? Every UFO sighting might then be a breadcrumb, a cryptic clue left across centuries by time-tossed messengers trying to rewrite an impending doom. So the next time you see a strange light in the sky, ask not just where it's from but when. The truth might not be out there among the stars, but waiting for us in the years we've yet to live, or the past we've already forgotten. What if the UFOs we see aren't solid objects at all, but flickering projections, holograms cast across the sky by intelligences we can't begin to comprehend? The idea might sound like science fiction, but cutting-edge physics suggests it's not as far-fetched as it seems. Quantum holography, a theory rooted in the bizarre behavior of subatomic particles, proposes that information can be encoded and transmitted using light in ways that defy classical physics. Imagine an advanced civilization manipulating entangled photons to create three-dimensional images so real they could fool radar, cameras, and even eyewitnesses. These wouldn't be simple light shows, they'd be interactive, dynamic constructs capable of reacting to their environment in real time. Consider the Hessdalen lights, mysterious glowing orbs hovering over a Norwegian valley since the 1940s. These spheres pulse with eerie intelligence, changing speed and direction abruptly, sometimes splitting into multiple lights before merging back together. Scientists have recorded electromagnetic disturbances in their presence, yet no physical craft has ever been recovered. Could these be holographic probes projecting themselves into our reality just long enough to observe before dissolving back into the quantum foam? Even the infamous Phoenix lights of 1997, where thousands witnessed a mile-wide V-shaped formation gliding silently overhead, might fit this model. Witnesses described the craft as almost ethereal, with lights that seemed embedded rather than attached, as if the entire structure was woven from light itself. The implications are staggering. If aliens can project holograms across interstellar distances, they might not need ships at all. A civilization harnessing quantum entanglement could teleport information instantly, creating the illusion of presence without physical travel. This could explain why UFOs often appear and vanish without warning, or pass through solid objects. They're not breaking the laws of physics, but sidestepping them entirely. Their craft might be more like thought forms, temporary manifestations designed to interact with us on their terms. Light-based communication opens another door. Humans rely on sound and touch, but a species evolved in a high-energy environment might use bioluminescence or polarized light to convey complex ideas. Picture an alien conversation as a swirling ballet of holographic symbols, each pulse containing layers of meaning we'd need advanced decryption to parse. Even our own technology hints at this possibility. Researchers at the University of Glasgow have already transmitted data using twisted light beams, encoding information in the spiral patterns of photons. An advanced civilization could take this further, embedding entire libraries in a single beam of light, or using holograms as teaching tools to bridge the gap between species. Then there's the eerie overlap with spiritual phenomena. For centuries, people have reported visions of luminous beings, angels, spirits, or otherworldly visitors, often described as radiant yet intangible. Indigenous cultures speak of star ancestors who appeared as glowing figures, imparting wisdom before fading into the air. Modern UFO encounters frequently describe entities made of light, their bodies shifting and translucent. Could these experiences be misinterpretations of holographic contact? The line between the technological and the transcendent might blur when dealing with a civilization that treats light as both medium and message. The most unsettling possibility: we might be surrounded by holographic observers right now, their presence invisible to us simply because we lack the senses or the science to perceive them. Like goldfish unaware of the world beyond their bowl, we could be swimming in a sea of quantum signals, mistaking advanced communication for empty space. Until we develop tools to detect these light-based constructs, every unexplained glow in the night sky remains a tantalizing question. Are we seeing tricks of the atmosphere, or the first flickers of a conversation we're only beginning to understand? The universe hums with energy, entire stars pouring out unimaginable power into the void, wasted on empty space. What if an advanced civilization could harness that energy, not in patches but on a cosmic scale? Enter the Dyson sphere, a hypothetical megastructure first proposed by physicist Freeman Dyson in 1960. The concept is staggering: a shell of solar panels or habitat surrounding a star, capturing nearly all its light. Picture millions of orbiting mirrors or platforms forming a loose swarm, redirecting sunlight to power stations or colonies. This isn't just science fiction. Real astronomers are scanning the skies for telltale signs of these structures right now, and one star in particular has them baffled. Tabby's star, officially known as KIC 8462852, flickers in ways no natural phenomenon fully explains. Located 1,500 light-years away, this sun-like star was flagged by the Kepler Space Telescope for its bizarre dimming patterns, sometimes dropping in brightness by up to 22% for days at a time. Dust clouds or planetary debris should cause smooth dips, but Tabby's star dims erratically, as if massive, asymmetrical objects are passing in front of it. Some scientists speculate we might be witnessing a partially built Dyson swarm, a fleet of energy collectors under construction. Imagine a civilization so advanced they've begun dismantling planets, transforming their raw materials into a vast network of orbital mirrors or habitats. The uneven dimming could be the shadows of these megastructures, rotating and shifting as they're assembled. Building a Dyson sphere isn't a matter of snapping together cosmic Legos. The engineering challenges are mind-bending. First, you'd need to disassemble planets, possibly starting with gas giants like Jupiter, to harvest enough material. Next, you'd have to stabilize the swarm in precise orbits to avoid catastrophic collisions, using something like electromagnetic tethers or gravitational balancing. The energy payoff, though, would be colossal. A single Dyson swarm could generate enough power to run supercomputers the size of solar systems, fuel interstellar travel, or even power simulations of entire universes. Here's where it gets eerie. If Dyson spheres exist, they'd glow in infrared, the waste heat from all that captured starlight radiating into space. In the 1980s, astronomers began searching for these thermal signatures, and while no definitive megastructures have been found, a handful of candidates like Tabby's star remain unexplained. Some propose alternative explanations for its dimming. Maybe it's surrounded by a shattered moon or a colossal ring system tilted at odd angles. Others suggest more exotic natural phenomena, like a cloud of comets trapped in unstable orbits. But the megastructure hypothesis lingers because it fits the data in unsettling ways. The concept forces us to rethink the limits of engineering. A civilization capable of building a Dyson swarm would likely be millions of years ahead of us, what physicist Michio Kaku calls a Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale. Their priorities, their art, even their wars would be unimaginable to us. Would they still be biological, or have they transitioned into pure energy, their consciousness distributed across the swarm like a cosmic internet? The structures around their star might not even be for energy collection. They could be computational nodes, running simulations so vast they contain entire virtual histories. And then there's the darker possibility. What if we find a Dyson sphere that's gone silent? A megastructure decaying around a dead star would emit infrared light without the visible glow of fusion, a tombstone for a civilization that reached for the stars and vanished. The universe is old enough that entire empires could have risen and fallen before Earth even formed. Their ruins might be hidden in plain sight, disguised as astronomical oddities we're only beginning to notice. So when you look up at the night sky, remember, some of those twinkling lights might not be stars at all, but the unfinished projects of gods. And one day, if humanity survives long enough, our descendants might gaze at a sun encircled by our own handiwork, bending starlight to our will. Until then, we keep searching, sifting through the cosmic static for the faintest signs that someone or something beat us to it. Dreams are one of the most universal yet mysterious experiences on Earth. Humans, mammals, even birds and reptiles show signs of REM sleep. But on a distant world orbiting a red dwarf star, where daylight lasts for months and nights plunge into frozen darkness, what would dreaming look like? To understand alien consciousness, we first have to dissect why sleep exists at all. On Earth, it's essential for memory consolidation, cellular repair, and even emotional processing. But an extraterrestrial species with a radically different biology might have evolved entirely separate mechanisms for these functions. Imagine a silicon-based life form that defragments its neural networks by entering a low-energy state, its crystalline structures reconfiguring under the pulse of geothermal energy rather than biochemical signals. Their version of dreaming could resemble data compression, a silent, algorithmic reshuffling of stored experiences. Now consider a creature from a tidally locked planet, where one side eternally faces its sun and the other drowns in perpetual night. Would they even sleep? Their circadian rhythms, if they have them, might sync to volcanic eruptions or magnetic storms instead of light cycles. Dolphins offer a fascinating earthly parallel. They sleep with one hemisphere of their brain at a time, remaining semi-conscious to surface for air. An aquatic alien species might take this further, developing rotating neural clusters that never fully shut down, their dreams unfolding in overlapping waves like a never-ending film reel. And what would they dream about without predators? Would their subconscious conjure abstract patterns instead of survival scenarios? The content of alien dreams could be as varied as their biologies. Humans visualize dreams because sight is our dominant sense, but a species that navigates by echolocation might dream in sonic pulses, three-dimensional soundscapes of remembered spaces. Or picture a hive-mind organism, its dreams a shared hallucination where thousands of individuals contribute fragments to a collective narrative. Their nightmares might not feature monsters, but the horror of disconnection, a sudden, silent void where the chorus of mind should be. Even more bizarre, what if their dreams aren't internal at all? Some cephalopods on Earth change colors while sleeping, their skin flickering with patterns scientists suspect might be visual echoes of dream states. An alien with bioluminescent cells could project its dreams outward, turning the walls of its den into a swirling canvas of light. Then there's the question of psychedelic experiences. Psilocybin, the compound in magic mushrooms, alters human perception by disrupting default brain networks. On a planet with different biochemistry, hallucinogens might induce time-dilated visions for a species that perceives reality in slow motion, or fractal geometries for creatures with compound eyes. A gas giant dweller floating in hydrogen clouds could experience dreams as buoyant, weightless reveries, while a burrowing species might hallucinate endless labyrinthine tunnels. The one constant, dreams in any form seem tied to self-awareness. If a species contemplates its existence, it likely has a subconscious, and with it, the capacity to wander beyond the boundaries of waking thought. So the next time you wake from a vivid dream, spare a thought for the trillions of potential dreamers scattered across the cosmos. Somewhere, a being with 11 neural cores might be cycling through its equivalent of REM, its mind adrift in a sea of sensations we'll never comprehend. Their dreams could be our greatest missed connection, a language of the mind written in wavelengths of consciousness we've yet to decipher. Could aliens exist as beings of pure energy shapeshifters woven from plasma or dark matter, their consciousness humming in the spaces between atoms? The idea shatters our carbon-based bias, inviting us to imagine life untethered from flesh and bone. Picture a sentient storm swirling in the upper atmospheres of gas giants, its thoughts crackling through electrical discharges. Or a dark matter entity, invisible to our eyes yet woven into the fabric of galaxies, perceiving gravity the way we sense light. These wouldn't be life forms as we know them, they'd be symphonies of force and vibration, their very existence challenging our definitions of alive. Our sun offers a glimpse of how such beings might function. Solar flares' explosions of magnetized plasma behave almost organically, twisting into loops and filaments that resemble neural networks. Some physicists speculate that under the right conditions, plasma could self-organize into complex structures capable of information processing. Now imagine a species evolved in the heart of a star, their bodies rippling with magnetic fields, their communication a language of polarized light pulses. To them, solid matter might seem as alien as energy seems to us, a sluggish, fossilized state barely worth noticing. Dark matter adds another layer of intrigue. Making up 85% of the universe's mass, it neither emits nor reflects light, interacting only through gravity. If life emerged within this shadowy realm, its senses would be attuned to the ebb and flow of cosmic tides. A dark matter organism might see, by mapping gravitational ripples from colliding galaxies, or nourish itself by absorbing the faint kinetic energy of passing neutrinos. Their art could be the deliberate sculpting of spacetime itself, bending galaxies into patterns that only beings like them could perceive, the strangest twist. We might have already encountered energy beings without realizing it. Ball lightning, those rare floating orbs of plasma that drift through the air, exhibits behaviors eerily reminiscent of curiosity, hesitating near objects, changing direction abruptly, even passing through walls. Unexplained radar anomalies like the fast radio bursts detected from deep space could be the distant chatter of plasma-based civilizations encoding messages in electromagnetic waves. Even human accounts of spirit sightings often describe luminous, intelligent entities, raising the spine-tingling possibility that mythology and physics might be describing the same phenomenon through different lenses. Perception itself would be alien to such creatures. Where we rely on photons hitting retinas, an energy being might experience reality as a gradient of charge densities or a symphony of quantum fluctuations. Time could flow differently for them. A plasma entity living near a black hole might process thoughts over millennia, while a dark matter intelligence perceives the birth and death of stars as fleeting moments. Their emotions, if they have any, might resemble the attraction and repulsion of magnetic poles rather than our messy biological urges. The hunt for these beings demands tools we're only beginning to develop. Traditional telescopes are useless against dark matter, but detectors like the Large Hadron Collider could reveal hidden particle interactions. Meanwhile, plasma physicists are creating dusty plasmas in labs, clouds of charged particles that spontaneously form crystal-like structures, hinting at how complexity might arise in stellar environments. Perhaps the breakthrough will come when we stop searching for aliens who look like us and start listening to the universe's hidden frequencies, where beings of fire and shadow might be whispering all along. What if humanity's origin story isn't written in the stars but engineered by them? The theory of directed panspermia proposes that life on Earth may have been intentionally seeded by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization, turning our planet into a cosmic petri dish. This isn't just wild speculation. Nobel Prize-winning chemist Francis Crick, co-discoverer of DNA's structure, seriously entertained the idea. He pointed out that the universe is billions of years older than Earth, leaving ample time for civilizations to develop the technology to package and transport microbial life across interstellar space. Imagine a progenitor species encoding their genetic blueprints into hardy bacteria, firing these biological capsules toward habitable worlds like ours aboard meteorites or specialized probes. The implications are staggering. Every living thing on Earth, from the mightiest sequoia to the human brain's intricate neural networks, could be the result of an alien experiment unfolding over eons. Ancient astronaut theories take this concept even further, suggesting extraterrestrials didn't just seed life, they actively shaped human evolution. Erich von Däniken's controversial book Chariots of the Gods ignited this debate by pointing to archaeological anomalies. How do we explain the sudden leap in human intelligence around 50,000 years ago, a period scientists call the Great Leap Forward? Ancient Sumerian texts describe the Anunnaki gods who descended from the heavens to genetically engineer laborers, creating Homo sapiens by blending their DNA with early hominids. Even biblical passages raise eyebrows. Genesis mentions the sons of God mating with the daughters of men, producing a race of giants. Could these be fragmented memories of genetic tampering? Mainstream genetics pushes back hard. While horizontal gene transfer, bacteria swapping DNA is common, there's zero evidence of engineered sequences in the human genome. Evolutionary biologists argue our rapid cognitive development can be explained by environmental pressures and social dynamics, not extraterrestrial meddling. Yet mysteries linger. The human genome contains ALU sequences, junk DNA with no known function, some of which are shared across seemingly unrelated species. Could these be genetic signatures left by ancient bioengineers? Even more provocative, our biology is oddly ill-suited to Earth. Humans suffer from chronic back pain, a remnant of evolving upright too quickly, some say. We burn easily under our own sun, and our newborns' heads are so large they risk killing mothers during birth. These traits make little evolutionary sense unless our development was accelerated. Modern science fiction has played with these ideas for decades, from Prometheus engineers to Battlestar Galactica's cyclical creation. But the real fascination lies in the psychological undercurrent, the terror and awe of discovering we might be someone else's project. If true, were we designed as servants, as some ancient texts suggest? Or are we a backup drive for a civilization preserving its genetic legacy before a cosmic catastrophe? The darkest twist, the experiment might still be running. Every unexplained leap in human innovation, every sudden mutation, could be a distant hand tweaking variables waiting to see what we become. For now, the question lingers in that hazy space where archaeology, mythology, and cutting-edge genetics collide. until we uncover definitive proof, a forgotten gene sequence, a relic buried in Antarctica's ice. We're left staring at the stars, wondering if our creators are out there, watching their garden grow. Mathematics is often called the universal language, but could it truly bridge the gap between humans and extraterrestrials? The idea isn't as abstract as it seems. In the 1960s, Dutch mathematician Hans Freudenthal developed Linkos, a constructed language designed for cosmic conversation. Unlike human languages tangled in cultural nuance, Linkos starts with pure logic, basic mathematical concepts like addition and subtraction, then builds upward to define time, behavior, even ethics, all through equations and symbols. Picture trying to explain friendship to an alien not with poetry, but with a carefully crafted sequence of prime numbers and geometric ratios. The genius of Linkos is its neutrality. It avoids sounds or symbols tied to human anatomy, relying instead on principles any technologically advanced species would recognize from physics or astronomy. Yet mathematics alone might not capture the full spectrum of alien expression. Here on Earth, we've already encountered non-human intelligences with communication systems that defy our expectations. Humpback whales compose songs with intricate grammatical structures, rearranging phrases into ever-evolving patterns that resemble musical mathematics. Dolphins assign signature whistles as names and can grasp abstract concepts like zero, a cognitive leap once thought unique to humans. If life on our own planet communicates in such complex, non-verbal ways, why assume aliens would rely on something as limiting as linear speech? Consider the possibility of fractal-based languages. Fractals, infinitely repeating geometric patterns, appear everywhere in nature, from fern leaves to galaxy clusters. An alien species perceiving reality through this lens might structure speech as recursive, self-similar waves. Instead of sentences, their words could be visual or auditory fractals, where the whole meaning is nested within each smaller part. Imagine a conversation unfolding like a snowflake's growth, each branch splitting into new layers of context, carrying exponential information in a single burst. Human attempts to decode this would require an eye trained to recognize patterns within patterns, a task akin to translating the wind. Even our attempts at interstellar messaging reveal our biases. The Arecibo message, broadcasted in 1974, used binary code to depict human DNA and our solar system, a brilliant effort, but one steeped in carbon-based assumptions. A silicon-based life form might communicate through crystalline vibrations, or a plasma-based entity through modulated magnetic pulses, the famous WOW. Signal's narrowband frequency hinted at intentional design, yet its brevity left us stranded at the threshold of understanding. What if it wasn't meant to convey words or numbers, but something else entirely, an emotional state, a topological map, or even a recipe for exotic matter? The challenge isn't just finding common ground, it's recognizing that alien languages might operate in dimensions beyond our perception. Mathematicians speculate that advanced civilizations could employ quantum entanglement for instant communication, with meanings encoded in spinning particles rather than sound waves. Their poetry might be written in the collapse of probability waves, their histories stored in the holographic fabric of spacetime. Until we shed our anthropocentric lens, the universe's greatest conversations could be happening all around us, whispered in a syntax we're only beginning to imagine. What if we're surrounded by aliens we can't see, not because they're hiding, but because their very existence operates beyond the spectrum of human perception? The concept of invisible extraterrestrials isn't just science fiction. It's rooted in cutting-edge physics and bizarre military encounters that defy conventional explanation. Take the infamous 2004 Nimitz incident. Navy pilots tracked objects on advanced radar systems long before visual contact, suggesting these craft somehow manipulated electromagnetic detection without fully vanishing. This aligns with theoretical cloaking technologies being developed right now on Earth, metamaterials that bend light around objects like water flowing around a rock, rendering them undetectable to the human eye. But alien invisibility could go far beyond human-engineered stealth. Imagine a species composed of dark matter, that mysterious substance making up 85% of the universe's mass. These beings would be utterly invisible to us, their gravitational influence the only hint of their presence, like feeling the wake of a passing ship in total darkness. Or consider neutrino-based life. Trillions of these ghostly particles pass through your body every second without interaction. A civilization that evolved to harness neutrinos as carriers of information might build cities inside stars, their communication networks streaming right through our planet unnoticed. The universe is full of detection blind spots. Human eyes perceive less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. We're essentially deaf to the cosmic symphony of radio waves, gamma rays, and terahertz frequencies surrounding us. An alien species communicating via polarized light or quantum entanglement would be as invisible to us as Wi-Fi signals were to medieval peasants. Even our own planet hosts creatures with radically different perception. Mantis shrimp see 16 color channels compared to our 3, while electric fish navigate using bioelectric fields. If terrestrial life can develop such varied senses, why wouldn't extraterrestrials surpass them in ways we can't fathom? Military records contain chilling examples of this phenomenon. During the Cold War, early warning systems occasionally detected phantom fleets of bombers that vanished upon investigation, glitches that could be explained by equipment failure or something far stranger. In 2007, scientists at Fermilab detected neutrino bursts from space that seemed to carry complex patterns, sparking brief speculation about artificial origins before being dismissed as atmospheric noise. The truth is, we're likely surrounded by cosmic chatter in frequencies we lack the instruments or the biological capacity to perceive. Perhaps the most unsettling possibility is that invisibility isn't just an alien trait. It's a universal survival strategy. The dark forest hypothesis suggests advanced civilizations hide to avoid predation. A truly intelligent species might cloak not just their ships, but their entire star system using gravitational lensing or space-time manipulation, rendering their world as invisible to us as a pebble at the bottom of the ocean. They could be watching from dimensions we can't access, their existence as intangible to us as a shadow is to a blind man. So the next time your dog barks at empty space or your camera picks up an unexplained streak of light, consider this. The greatest alien revelation might not come from a dramatic landing, but from the slow, humbling realization that we've been sharing our world with the unseen all along. Our telescopes and radios may be pointed at the stars, but the truth could be hovering right in front of us, written in wavelengths we're only beginning to learn how to read. What if Earth's greatest transformations weren't natural accidents, but deliberate acts of cosmic landscaping? The idea that extraterrestrials might shape planets like gardeners tending plots isn't just sci-fi whimsy. It's a hypothesis with roots in some of Earth's most pivotal moments. Take the Great Oxygenation Event 2.5 billion years ago, when cyanobacteria flooded the atmosphere with oxygen, wiping out anaerobic life but setting the stage for complex organisms. To us, it's a natural process, but what if it was engineered? Imagine an advanced civilization seeding early Earth with precisely tailored microbes, jump-starting a chain reaction designed to cultivate a breathable atmosphere over millennia. The timing is almost suspicious. Just as Earth cooled enough to support life, these microscopic architects appeared, their waste product oxygen becoming the cornerstone of all future evolution. The Gaia theory, proposed by scientist James Lovelock, adds another layer. It suggests Earth operates as a single, self-regulating system, with life and environment intertwined like a planetary-scale organism. Could this balance be more than coincidence, Proponents of directed panspermia argue that a species mastering interstellar travel wouldn't just visit worlds, they'd sculpt them. Terraforming might not require massive machines. It could be as subtle as introducing extremophiles into a planet's oceans, then waiting patiently for the biosphere to ripen. Mars offers tantalizing clues. The discovery of nitrates in its soil, essential for plant growth, hints at a past where its rusty surface might have been intentionally prepared for future life. Even Earth's moon is oddly precise in stabilizing our climate. Its size and orbit a statistical anomaly some call too perfect to be natural. Ancient myths weave curious parallels. Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki mixing the waters of Earth to prepare it for life, while indigenous Australian Dreamtime stories speak of ancestral beings shaping landscapes with celestial tools. Modern astrobiology reveals how delicate the recipe for a habitable world truly is. A fraction more methane, and Earth could have been a hothouse like Venus, a tilt a few degrees sharper, and ice ages might have erased life entirely. The fact we exist in this narrow window has led some scientists to wonder, was it luck or intervention? The implications are staggering. If aliens terraform, their timescale would dwarf human history. A project spanning millions of years might appear as natural processes to us, their handiwork hidden in plain sight within geological strata or DNA. Recent discoveries of exoplanets in the Goldilocks zone raise another question. Are we seeing untouched worlds or gardens at different stages of cultivation? Perhaps the universe is dotted with embryonic biospheres, each quietly nurtured toward complexity by unseen hands. The ultimate goal, a galactic network of life, patiently cultivated until the gardeners return, or until the cultivated grow wise enough to join them. Human art is bound by our biology. We see in 3 dimensions, hear within limited frequencies, and create with hands shaped by evolution. But what masterpieces might emerge from minds unshackled by these constraints? Picture a civilization evolved in the turbulent clouds of a gas giant. Their paintings, sculpted from swirling plasma strands that pulse in rhythms matching their star's magnetic field. These wouldn't be static images, but living, breathing entities constantly shifting fractals of ionized gas, their beauty fleeting as lightning yet as precise as a sonnet. Consider sound in alien atmospheres. On Titan, Saturn's moon, where methane rains onto icy plains, sound travels slower and lower than on Earth. A musical composition there might unfold over days, with notes so deep they vibrate through an organism's entire body. A species communicating through infrasound could create symphonies felt rather than heard, their melodies resonating across continents like the songs of blue whales amplified 1,000-fold. Or imagine beings from a high-pressure ocean world where water transmits sound at blistering speeds. Their music might resemble the rapid-fire clicks of dolphins, condensed into microseconds of hyper-complex auditory data. Geometry takes on new dimensions in alien hands. Our art relies on Euclidean shapes, circles, squares, triangles, but a civilization perceiving higher dimensions might craft sculptures that phase in and out of visibility as they rotate, their forms impossible to comprehend fully from our limited perspective. A hypercube's shadow alone bewilders human eyes. What wonders might artists of the 4th dimension conceive? Even materials would defy expectations. Sculptures woven from magnetic field lines, invisible to us yet tangible to species sensing electromagnetism as we do touch. The rings of Saturn could be their marble, the auroras their watercolors. Earth's own extremophiles hint at possibilities. Certain bacteria arrange themselves into Fibonacci spirals under microscopes, while slime molds solve labyrinth puzzles with eerie efficiency. If simple organisms exhibit such artistry without consciousness, what might deliberate alien creators achieve? Their murals could be written in DNA strands, their poetry encoded in the spin of entangled particles. The most profound thought, alien art might not be made for us or any audience at all. A machine intelligence spanning star systems could craft elaborate stellar ballets, rearranging orbits to satisfy some inscrutable aesthetic. Or a hive mind might perceive beauty in statistical harmony, its masterpiece the flawless synchronization of a billion drones. Our attempts to interpret such works could be as futile as a moth analyzing the Mona Lisa. Yet in that gulf of understanding lies the true wonder, the realization that creativity, in its purest form, is as infinite as the cosmos itself. The fabric of reality might be far more porous than we ever imagined. What if the UFOs streaking across our skies aren't visitors from distant stars but refugees or explorers from a parallel universe? This isn't just speculative fiction, it's a hypothesis grounded in cutting-edge physics. Brain theory, a cornerstone of string theory, suggests our universe might be one of countless membranes floating in a higher dimensional space, like sheets of paper drifting in a cosmic breeze. These brains could harbor entire alternate realities, separated from ours by dimensions we can't perceive. Occasionally, the theory goes, these membranes might collide or brush against one another, creating temporary rifts, portals where matter or energy could bleed through. CERN's Large Hadron Collider has secretly hunted for evidence of these extra dimensions since its inception. By smashing particles at near-light speeds, scientists hope to detect microscopic black holes or gravitons leaking into our dimension, smoking guns for parallel universes. While no definitive proof has emerged, anomalies in energy signatures during collisions keep the possibility alive. Imagine if UFOs are the macroscopic equivalent of these quantum quirks, not spacecraft but fragments of another reality momentarily intruding into ours. This could explain their sudden appearances and disappearances, their ability to defy physics as we know it. A craft from a universe with different physical constants might glow with unnatural light, move without inertia, or vanish like a mirage as the dimensional doorway snaps shut. The concept reshapes classic UFO encounters. Consider the famous Rendlesham Forest incident of 1980, where military personnel described a triangular craft emitting beams of light that left radiation traces. Skeptics dismiss it as a misidentified lighthouse or experimental aircraft, but what if it was a brain world artifact, its very composition vibrating at frequencies alien to our universe? Even the eerie silence of the cosmos takes on new meaning. The Fermi Paradox's famous question, "Where is everybody?" might have a chilling answer: they're not out there at all. They're alongside us in a reality so close yet so impossibly distant, like reflections in a mirror we can't quite pierce. Ancient cultures might have glimpsed this truth. Tibetan Buddhist texts speak of Shambhala, a hidden kingdom accessible only through interdimensional gateways. Aboriginal Dreamtime stories describe sky beings who slip between worlds as easily as stepping through a curtain. Modern accounts of glitches in the matrix, moments when reality seems to stutter or warp, could be fleeting overlaps with neighboring brains, the most compelling evidence. So-called orbs caught on camera, spheres of light that morph and pulse in ways defying conventional explanation. These could be distortions where realities briefly touch, like ripples where two ponds merge. The implications are dizzying. If parallel universes exist, their physics might permit technologies we'd consider magic, teleportation, time manipulation, even consciousness transferred between dimensions. A civilization mastering brain navigation wouldn't need starships, they'd step sideways into realities where distance and time are meaningless. The ultimate frontier might not be space, but the infinite layers of existence pressing invisibly against our own. Until we unlock the secrets of extra dimensions, every unexplained light in the sky remains a tantalizing question. Are we truly alone, or is the cosmos whispering to us through cracks in reality itself? What if the greatest twist in the search for alien life is that we've been the aliens all along? The idea sounds like science fiction, but startling anomalies in human genetics have led some scientists to seriously consider whether our ancestors might have arrived here from the stars. Take chromosome 2, a bizarre quirk that sets humans apart from every other primate. While chimpanzees, our closest relatives, have 24 pairs of chromosomes, humans only have 23. The reason: two ancient chromosomes fused into one, a mutation so rare in evolution that it's been called the genetic equivalent of lightning striking twice in the same spot. Mainstream science attributes this to random chance, but fringe theorists ask, what if it was intentional? The precise fusion point contains telomeric sequences, structures normally found at chromosome ends buried in the middle, as if stitched together by molecular design. Could this be evidence of genetic tampering by an advanced civilization, blending their DNA with Earth's primates to fast-track intelligence? Then there's the enigma of mitochondrial DNA, the tiny power plants inside our cells passed down exclusively from mothers. Studies show all modern humans descend from a single female ancestor nicknamed mitochondrial Eve, who lived in Africa roughly 200,000 years ago. But here's the catch: her DNA contains mutations with no clear evolutionary precedent. Some researchers point to segments that resemble viral insertions, speculating they might be remnants of an engineered retrovirus used to accelerate brain development. Even stranger, human neurons operate at voltages higher than any other mammal, sparking theories that our brains were optimized for functions beyond Earth's natural demands, like telepathy or interstellar communication lying dormant in our genes. Ancient astronaut theorists love this idea, but they're not the only ones asking questions. Mainstream biologists struggle to explain why humans are so poorly adapted to Earth compared to other species. Our backs ache from walking upright, our skulls barely accommodate our oversized brains during childbirth, and we burn under sunlight that other primates tolerate effortlessly. Even our sleep cycles are misaligned with Earth's rotation. Most mammals thrive on polyphasic sleep, yet humans stubbornly cling to monophasic patterns, as if our internal clocks were calibrated for a longer day. Could these design flaws be signs we evolved elsewhere, perhaps on a planet with weaker gravity, dimmer sunlight, and a 30-hour rotation? The myths of cultures worldwide add fuel to the fire. The Dogon tribe of Mali, who had no access to modern astronomy, somehow knew about Sirius B, a white dwarf star invisible to the naked eye, and claimed their ancestors were taught by amphibious visitors from that system. Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki genetically engineering humans to mine gold, splicing their own DNA with Homo erectus. Even the Bible's Nephilim, hybrid offspring of sons of God, and human women echo themes of celestial intervention. While anthropologists dismiss these as symbolic narratives, the recurring motif of star-born origins is hard to ignore. Modern discoveries keep the debate alive. In 2017, astronomers found Oumuamua, the first known interstellar object passing through our solar system. Its bizarre acceleration and lack of a visible comet tail defied explanation, leading Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb to speculate it might be artificial, a discarded solar sail or probe. If relics of alien technology drift through space, could ancient colonists have arrived the same way, crash landing on Earth eons ago and gradually forgetting their cosmic roots? The most haunting possibility isn't just that we're aliens, it's that we've been programmed to forget. Our obsession with the stars, the uncanny ease with which we master technology, even the persistent myth of a golden age before civilization might be genetic memories surfacing from a past light years away. Until we sequence every strand of our DNA or unearth an artifact with undeniable extraterrestrial origins, the question lingers like a whisper in our blood. Are we Earth's children or merely its longest-running experiment? Perhaps the truth lies in the mirror. The next time you gaze at the night sky with inexplicable longing, ask yourself, is that just wanderlust or something deeper? A homesickness for a world you've never known, written into your very cells, waiting to be remembered. From the Fermi Paradox's haunting silence to the possibility of interdimensional beings slipping through cosmic cracks, every question we've explored stretches the boundaries of what it means to be alive in this vast universe. Whether debating silicon-based lifeforms thriving in scorching deserts or plasma entities dancing in stellar atmospheres, each theory forces us to confront the arrogance of assuming Earth holds the only template for consciousness. The enigma of microbial aliens hiding in European oceans reshapes how we define habitable zones, while the dark forest hypothesis turns the night sky into a chessboard of hidden civilizations. Even our own DNA whispers tantalizing possibilities. Are we the product of ancient genetic engineering or cosmic accidents in an indifferent void? These mysteries do more than fuel speculation. They recalibrate our cosmic humility. When Carl Sagan reflected on the pale blue dot image of Earth, he captured this perfectly. Our planet is a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam, one fragile world among countless others. That perspective transforms curiosity from a pastime into a profound responsibility. If life exists beyond our atmosphere, every discovery we make or fail to make rewrites humanity's place in the story of existence. So keep questioning. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to us, but that's what makes the search exhilarating. Whether you're convinced UFOs are time travelers from our future, think we're alone in a silent cosmos, or believe answers lie in dimensions we can't yet perceive, one truth remains: the cosmos is far stranger than we've dared to imagine. Now it's your turn. Drop your wildest alien theory in the comments, and let's keep the conversation as infinite as the stars. After all, the next great revelation might not come from a telescope, but from someone just like you, staring up at the sky and wondering.